This is my 2019 Volkswagen Jetta concept that I built with Volkswagen for the SEMA Show. And today we're going to talk all about exactly what went into building it. Stay tuned. Very quickly before we go in depth on the Jetta, we just want to say thank you to today's sponsor, SoloWerks Suspension, part of the KW Group. Thank you so much to SoloWerks for making great products and helping us make these videos. So today we are actually visiting our friends in North Carolina. It is Black Forest Industries, and they are wonderful, wonderful people. And if you're wondering why is my car here, well, the Mk7 Jetta S concept exists purely to, well, benefit enthusiasts. That car was literally built just for shows, and with COVID, etc., there's less shows, so that gives us more time to develop and to put that car to good use. So let's go inside, walk through, take a quick tour, and then go and talk about just what went into building a concept car between Volkswagen and I, which is amazing. It never feels not cool to say that. But anyway, come on in. Ralph's behind the camera wearing his mask. So this is Black Forest Industries. If you don't know them, they have been going for 15, 20 years or something now. Waterfest, H2O, Solo, all the big shows. Well, this is their retail store in Cary, North Carolina. This is not planned, we're just gonna walk through. BBS parts on display, they've got the Rotiform displays, and they do normally host a show as well, Oktoberfest in October, and they give out beer steins, but this year was cancelled, so we've all got to come next year. They do auto service work too, but yeah, waiting room, but the most important thing is they have NBA Jam, so Ralph and I need to socially distance, play the heck out of this before we leave. Let's take a walk through all the grills. So if you don't know Black Forest, they stock all sorts of parts, but they also build a lot of their own parts. One of their exclusive things that I just nerd out on, collect, go crazy for, is their shift knobs. And it might be one of the things they're most famous for. So how about a Cerakoted limited edition? They made 10 colors, only 10 of each. So if you want a green or an orange, 1 orange, 2 green, 3 like very cool, like, I don't know, burgundy? That's there, but over here are orders that they are fulfilling right now, and you can see just how many pieces go into making their shift knobs. So just that part there with the material, the top piece, then a coin goes on there. It's fascinating. Let me see, there's the bases for them, which are all made in-house from aluminium if you're in Britain. So that's the bottom part of a shift knob with the thread there. I just love how much nerdiness and attention to detail and engineering they have put into it. Control arms, I'm going to buy a pair of those for my Mark 1. They have them with the polyurethane mounts ready to go. One of the other biggest things that they make are their engine mounts, and that's what's actually getting developed for the Mk7 Jetta right now. These are all orders going out this weekend. So you can see just how many they are producing. It is nuts, but let me carefully grab this one. This is a BMW E90 or E9X platform. So again, multiple pieces CNC'd. They have different stages or durometers. So they have street, track, super performance. They call it a different thing than that, but you understand what I'm getting at. And where does that come from? Well, right through this door is the machine shop. So when I say it's made here in North Carolina, USA, there's the giant CNC machine that literally does it. Look at all of the offcuts just to see how much stuff they've made. This is a 3-foot by 3-foot cabinet full of pieces that did not need to be included to make an engine mount. So yeah, full-time machinist, full-time CNC machine in-house to their own designs, everything. So come on through to the workshop and welcome to my Mk7 Jetta. I did build this with Volkswagen for the SEMA Show in November 2018. This might still be one of the first and the most modified Mk7 Jettas, full stop. 3D printed body kit, exclusive work wheels, the first ever set in the world. Let's go talk about these in proper detail. We're going to start at the front end. Yes, the body kit is 3D printed. We're then going to move back to the wheels. Work Wheels unveiled this new model exclusively on this vehicle. We're going to go to the Recaros. We're going to work our way back to the Borla exhaust with the exclusive 3D printed diffuser, which is now available for you to buy as a kit. So much work went into this, but let's start up front with some very simple, subtle things. If you're a Mk7 Jetta owner, non-GLI, you may well have even asked me about these. These are the SEL Premium or the GLI lights. They can be retrofitted into the base models. Every Jetta Mk7 comes with LEDs from the factory, so it's as simple as extending the wiring. Colors are a little bit different, but it's okay. They do plug in, and it will just work with no errors. Thank you, Volkswagen, for making that one so simple. Other little things, before the GLI was launched, every Jetta had chrome here. Well, I didn't want that, so we painted this to match. And if you disassemble the grille, you can remove these strips individually, so I painted that one body color too. They were easy things. Slightly more difficult things, with ECS Tuning, we 3D printed this bumper extension there. So this is all 3D printed construction underneath there. Now you can buy the proper molded, correct ones, but this was the pre-production. This was the prototype. And indeed, the front lip here is entirely 3D printed as well, which is mind-blowing because it's 5 feet wide and 6 inches deep, and it's nuts to think about that. And we were able to get that done just in time for the SEMA show. It was a lot of stress. We were working until 2, 3 in the morning every day. Hashtag SEMA prep. Everyone talks about it. Everyone that does the cars for that. Why don't we just build them earlier? Well, with the Mk7 Jetta, it didn't really exist earlier. This was the first full production one that we were able to get our hands on. This was it, so that's my excuse. But anyway, let's go on to the wheels and the crazy, crazy suspension that's on this car too. 20-inch work T5R2P. The 2P stands for two-piece. Yes, the one centerpiece welded into the barrel, and that allowed me to do a customized offset. And this was the very first set in the world. These wheels were launched on this car at the SEMA show, which is a huge honor for me, and it was a little scary getting the measurements. But Work are an amazing company based in Japan. These wheels were made inside their factory in Japan and then sent overnight to my workshop for this car. Behind it, we have the ECS two-piece rotors and a set of 6-piston Brembos. Behind there, we have some even crazier magic. The suspension, if you're familiar with KW suspension, there's variant 1, variant 2, variant 3, well, now there's variant 4. This is completely off those charts though. This is the Clubsport suspension. This is their track suspension. It doesn't even come with a warranty because it is made for racing. So it has external reservoirs. If you think that's for off-roading only, no, in high-performance applications, they have them, and this is what went onto it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Absolutely crazy. In fact, through the rear wheels, you can even see the remote reservoir while the car is rolling. It just blows my mind. It makes me so happy to nerd out about that. Inside the car, a beautiful set of Recaro Sportster GTs. Now, if you're familiar with the CSs, this is the later version with the V center, different materials, and a different design. These were just launched in time for the SEMA show, but I didn't get my set. So if you did see it before where it had the retro houndstooth Recaros, you are not imagining something. This car has now had 3 different interiors, but this is the one that it was really designed to have. The armrest and the shift boot are both from Black Forest. There's another room that we didn't show you where everything is stitched in-house here in North Carolina too, as well as the shift knobs being made here with a Cerakoted color-matched ring made exclusively to match the white silver paint. I can't say thanks enough to Black Forest because every one of my cars has a special one-off shift knob to match, which is so exciting for me. If I ever sell the cars, I actually keep the shift knobs in my office and I tell the owners, hey, the shift knob's not coming with it, sorry. So otherwise, we do have the later R steering wheel. Otherwise, it's pretty factory in here because genuinely, and Volkswagen is not telling me to say this, they did a really nice job on the Mk7 Jetta, and if you look in the interior of the Mark 8 Golf, you have that same angled dashboard, which was really introduced in the Mk7 Jetta for that overlap. On the white silver paint, there was a matching bicycle made for this. The Marin company took the Gestalt X, painted it in their factory to match it, which was on display at the SEMA show. Unfortunately, when this car was shipped to Europe, it was stolen. So some mother beeping beep hole out there has a white silver one-off Marin bicycle in this paint color made in the factory to match it with matching roof rack color match from Volkswagen Accessories. The bike is long gone. So if you ever see that one in this exact color, it is the only one in the world. Please either punch the person who has it or please let me know so we could try and reunite it to this and I can go and ride that really nice bicycle too. Okay, happier things. Another question on the outside that I get asked a lot are about the side skirts. This is the only part of the kit that is not available. In fact, the only part in the car that is not available to buy. These are actually from Audi S3s. This is 2 sets of Audi S3s because the center here is slightly longer, so we had to cut it and plastic weld it and extend it. So this is an Audi S3 and a quarter or whatever the measurement was. So I don't have an answer for you to go and buy your own, but you could buy 2 sets of genuine S3 ones, plastic weld them together, smooth them, paint them, and you would have the same thing. The back of the car, again, 2-piece drilled vented rotors from ECS, bigger Golf R rear brakes, and again the 20-inch work 2-piece T5Rs. But coming around, more 3D printed, and we're going to get to that exquisite custom Borla exhaust that is now available to purchase. On the spoiler, it is 3D printed as well, and when I dropped it off to the paint shop, I don't know what came to me. I literally just said, hey, you know what? Leave off 6 inches of the 3D printing so that we can show how the construction was done. And it was amazing at the SEMA Show, watching people walk on, like, oh, it's a little Volkswagen, and then they'd look at this. What the heck is this? And then they'd rub their hand on it, and then they would start to realize more and more pieces and what went into it, because this did not exist until I drove out to visit ECS and we sat down with a pen and paper and just drew this. This is one of the things I am most proud of on this car, because when I first went out and saw the very pre-production versions, I saw this body line that just disappears into nothing, and I literally ran my hand over it and looked at how it came there. And this line is so subtle but so epic. I had the honor of talking to the Volkswagen Accessories people, one of their engineers and the head of the division, and to talk about it and show them it and just sort of stand back and watch them critique it. And I'm so proud of this. It is bigger perhaps than a genuine Volkswagen product would be, but that's what the aftermarket is cool for. That's why we get to have the fun doing this. You know what, let's do a shout out. Hello to Fabian, who works in Volkswagen Wolfsburg. He was one of the heads of the Jetta project, and I've seen the sketches done for the Mk7 Jetta with this line from the very, very beginning when it popped into his head. It cannot get more nerdy than that, but let's move on to other nerdy things. The very hardworking people at Borla Exhaust were also part of this. So we transported a Jetta to them before their launch and had them measure it all up and realize that we could make a quad exit. Now, Borla, for the diffuser, this was actually ECS. This is a collab. Somehow I managed to make a collab happen between ECS and Borla. So if you have the rear bumper not from a Jetta S, it must be from an R-Line or an SEL Premium. This just clips in, swap the exhaust, it uses all factory exhaust hangers, and you have a quad exit exhaust, which has been tested by myself on the Nürburgring at 130 miles an hour, cruising on the Autobahn for multiple hours, and of course, Borla's full sound testing, which is something they're very into. And it really does sound great with the 1.4 TSI turbo engine. Now, let's walk around here to the front, because this is why the car is here at Black Forest Industries. During the, well, time of no shows, or COVID-19 as it's otherwise known, it has been here for development. So it now has an ECU tune made especially for 93 octane, and that added 20-some horsepower straight away. Now Black Forest are doing a cold air intake. They've also got a downpipe from CTS, which they're working on joining seamlessly into the Borla Cat-Back. This is going to add a bunch of horsepower. They haven't exactly given me permission to release it because they are still developing it, but I expect that we will see a 40 horsepower gain while still retaining awesome fuel economy and a great sound. So I'm very happy with that. If we can get from 140, 150 up to 180, 200 horsepower at the crank for not very much money, I think that is a fantastic upgrade and exactly what this car is made to do. When I say made to do, I mean it's meant to be fun. It's a brand new car, or it was when I built it, and it's just pushing how far I can engineer and how far I can design with my friends at other great companies in the USA, because this is a model really made in the USA. You can't actually buy it in Europe. So unlike my Caddy Van USA project, which was made as a one-off here, this, when we shipped it over to Europe, was one of the only ones there, and it is a US car with a whole lot of US products, like the BFI, like the Borla. Even the Recaro Sportster GTs are really an American targeted seat that was first launched here. Well, that is going to be the end of our walkthrough on my 2019 Volkswagen Jetta S project. But if you have additional comments or questions, or if you just want to know how to modify yours along any of these lines, please go in the comments and let us know. I will try and respond personally about headlight wiring or KW fitment or whatever else I can try and answer there for you. I have to give a big thank you, well, to Black Forest Industries for allowing us to film in here, but also for developing such great products for the Volkswagen aftermarket community, and to all of the other partners on this project that made it possible, and also to Volkswagen. And I'm sure that there is a Volkswagen lawyer somewhere saying, modifying your cars may make them lower and louder and more fun, but seriously, take care of your warranties and whatever else you want to, but that's enough legal disclaimer. Please be an adult and a grown-up about it. For now, thank you so much. If I have to be a YouTuber, sure, go ahead and subscribe or whatever else, but we'll try and avoid that. We will see you next week for another car video next Monday, but for now, wash your cars, wash your hands, and take care.